So why is healthcare creeping back onto the Washington radar screen? Well, that's an interesting question, and the answer provides an interesting tale of how Washington is working these days. You'll remember that a week or so ago, there was a giant political explosion when Republicans failed to get a plan that they had devised to repeal and replace Obamacare through Congress. It collapsed in the House, mostly because a lot of Republicans couldn't bring themselves to support it, mostly conservative Republicans who think it didn't go far enough to repeal Obamacare. There was a lot of anger at the White House and among Republican leaders, but both President Trump and those Republican leaders in Congress decided, let's just park health care for a while, let's move on to other issues, particularly tax reform. But now, all of a sudden, House Republican leaders are quietly meeting and talking about reviving an attempt to pass a repeal and replace Obamacare piece of legislation. President Trump is tweeting about the need to do that. And the question is, why is that happening? Well, two reasons, really. One is, House leaders, I think, have realized that they really need some clarity on health care for budget and tax reasons. They need to know what the cost of the health care plan that's going forward is going to be, and they need to know which taxes in Obamacare are going to be eliminated before they can move on to budget and tax issues. But even more importantly, I think Republicans are realizing they need to show to themselves, to the president, to Democrats, and to their own supporters, their own voters out across the country, that they can get this done. This is a top priority. There's a lot of embarrassment that it didn't happen, and I think a lot of expectation among Republican voters that this was going to happen, and a lot of disappointment that nothing has really gotten done. So I think for all those reasons, Republicans now are thinking, unlike a week ago, maybe we better get back to health care. A key to this question is going to be, what sort of message did Republican members of Congress and Republican leaders hear when they were back home over the weekend visiting with their constituents? How much disappointment from their own supporters that they didn't get it done? How much does that disappointment perhaps change the view of those conservatives who didn't want to compromise and maybe will be more willing to do so?